Welcome back, everybody, to News Nation on this Thursday night. I'm Rob Nelson.
And I'm Marnie Hughes. Thank you for joining us tonight. We begin with a path to U.S. citizenship for young dreamers and other immigrants trying to escape war or natural disasters abroad. Today, the House passed a bill that offers legal status to around 2 million dreamers who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children, hundreds of thousands of other migrants from a dozen troubled countries. And you're looking at the debate on the House floor live right now. This is a big win for Democrats in the year's first vote on an issue that faces a steep climb in the Senate. Republicans demanding that any immigration bill contains steps to toughen security at the U.S.-Mexico border.
This all comes as the U.S. is facing its biggest surge of migrants out the southwest border in about 20 years. News Nation's Marky Martin live outside the Dallas Convention Center again tonight, where thousands of migrant teenagers are being housed. But we begin with Joe Khalil at the nation's capital with the latest on the debate. Joe.
Yeah, Robin, those two bills actually already passed. Both of them had bipartisan support. The second one actually had a significant amount of Republicans. So as we touched on here, both of them offer a pathway to citizenship. So they are significant to migrant farm workers, undocumented agricultural workers, and then dreamers, so-called dreamers, young children who were brought to this country as kids illegally through no fault of their own. So that's what the bills actually do. What they do not address is border security issues, and they would do nothing to stem the flow of migrants coming from Central and South America. So the pressing issue right now, they actually don't address. We did speak to one Democrat who sponsored the farm worker bill. She told us earlier this week a lot of rural communities that rely on agriculture need this migrant labor to survive. She's a Democrat, but she says many of those districts, those rural farming districts, are majority Republican. That's why she thinks this had bipartisan support. Now, Democrats say that they favor a larger immigration reform bill, one big one, instead of these two more narrow focused measures. But Congressman Pete Aguilar says these bills were brought to the floor because they have a more realistic chance of actually becoming law.
What the Congressional Hispanic Caucus has said is that no single bill should get in the way of good reform and putting individuals on a path to citizenship. And so in the meantime, if there are these two pieces of legislation, Dream and Promise Act and the Ag Worker Modernization Bill, if these have bipartisan support, then let's pass these.
Now, some Republicans argue that any immigration bill that's being considered now, they like to see measures on border security be included in them. One even said it was tone deaf to be ignoring the border while there's a surge of migrants coming from Central and South America, and that surge is spiking right now. Republican Tom McClintock told us that he thinks the two bills that are on the floor that just passed are going to hurt working class Americans.
They have been the most harmed during the lockdowns, and this adds to their burdens and woes by assuring that the market for their skills and their labor will remain stagnant for a decade to come. Please don't do this to those good Americans in this perilous time for our country.
Now, we should be clear that while these two bills in the House did get bipartisan support, they still may have an uphill battle in the Senate because they would require 60 votes each to pass the Senate. Republicans, by the way, did introduce their own measures for a bill. We haven't actually seen bill language on this yet, but their measures would also include a path to citizenship. As we've just seen, some Republicans may oppose that. The Republican measures also would include border security. Reporting live tonight in Washington, D.C., Joe Khalil, News Nation.
And Joe, as you mentioned, some bipartisan support there, but as it moves through to the Senate, where do you see the compromise, if any, as this heads to the Senate to get passed?
Well, like I said, the two different measures themselves both used to be part of a larger immigration package. Democrats plucked these two measures out because they tended to have support. Supporting Dreamers, supporting those DACA recipients typically does have bipartisan support. On the other end, you have those rural farm workers who are here undocumented. Again, a lot of the places Central Valley of California being one, parts of Texas, large farming communities. So you can see where those issues might actually get some bipartisan support. You might find Republicans whose districts benefit from this. That's where, again, Democrats tried to target this. But, we'll have to see, because if this ends up being part of a larger immigration package, it's going to be much harder to get 60 votes needed to pass anything out of the Senate, Markey.
Joe Khalil live for us in Washington, D.C. tonight, and just want to let you folks at home know that we do have Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, who is on the House floor now, coming up on NewsNation as soon as she is free from the floor. Joe, thank you. Rob, over to you.